What should you never do in the United States? Try and bribe a police officer. Not just bribery. Apparently in some countries, if you get a ticket for something you can actually pay the fine to the police officer on the spot. NFL kicker and Raiders legend Sebastian Janikowski was arrested and almost deported back to Poland for trying to bribe a police officer, until he convinced the court that he just thought that's how it legitimately works. I've been to places where you can pay the policeman for a traffic violation. For some reason it's about half the amount if you take the ticket than pay officially. Things that make you go In German-speaking countries, Germany, Austria and probs also Switzerland, this is actually legally how it works for minor offenses. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it's the same in Poland, as a neighboring country of Germany. It works like this: if you drive let's say 10 km per hour above the limit and get pulled over, you can either pay €20 on the spot or get a letter home for a fine of €50. If you pay on the spot, you do get a receipt for your payment and you can even pay by card, provided that the police car is equipped with that tech. You lose all your rights to dispute the fine, however. If you choose to receive a letter home, you could theoretically make use of your right to dispute the fine, if you believe that it is unrightful. I think this is done as an incentive for drivers to pay on the spot, so that the costly, administrative effort that comes with the offense is kept minimal. Also the Czech Republic, where I live, which means most likely this also applies to Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, etc. Also India. But you don't get a receipt and have to pay cash. And yes, it's a bribe. Get out of the vehicle during a traffic stop. I did not know this. Here in Australia we are perfectly okay to get out of the vehicle unless the cop says otherwise. Man, I could never imagine getting out for any reason if I got stopped. Wow, this blew up. I took a nap and came back to see a lot of people feel the same, and it's terrifying. Once I rolled through a stop sign in front of my college dorm and had parked and was out of my car before the cop pulled up behind me and screamed for me to get back in the car. I hadn't seen him at all and the lights weren't on until I was already out of my car. He was so angry and was asking why I got out of my car. Similar thing twice, but the cop didn't yell at me. But that may have been cause I had slightly better timing than you, or the cops that pulled me weren't easily scared into thinking I was gonna attack them with a handful of groceries. Would an Australian cop be more suspicious if the driver did not get out? Genuine question from an American. Nah. It's still the norm for people to stay in the car during a police stop here as well. Like if you got out of your car in Australia, the cop would just tell you to stay in the car so you don't get ran over. They wouldn't take it as an act of aggression and pull their gun out. My old man still gets out of the car every time he gets pulled over. I think he thinks it's some kind of power move, so he is looking the guy in the eye rather than getting talked down to, but probably just succeeds in irritating the cop and increases his chances of getting a ticket. Cut in line. I've been in countries, example, Spain, where lines/queues are more of a vague suggestion of who goes first. This is not true if you cut in line in the US. Cutting in line in the US can literally lead to violence. Hey buddy, what's your problem? Yo. The lines start back there, hitches thumb in direction. Hey Copernicus. Why don't you navigate yourself to the back of the line? And stand there with your shirt. Edit, my most upvoted comment is a misquote of Family Guy lol. Hey yo, Copernicus. Why don't you navigate yourself to the back of the line with your feet and stand there with your shirt? Don't talk to your wife about trying New York pizza in Arabic on a plane to New York. Why not? I heard New York pizza is the bomb. I'd give it a 9/11. You've been waiting years for this. 21 years. In Azkaban. Cunt is considered a very vulgar word here that would be highly inappropriate to say casually. Fuck me, I'd be proper fucked then. Why did I just automatically read this in an Australian accent? On the other hand, fanny in American English is a rather innocent slang word for someone's posterior. It's entirely appropriate to say get your fanny over here. To a young child. As I understand it, if you said that to a child in the UK, you might find yourself having a chat with law enforcement. I got this when traveling over the summer. I said something about trying to decide whether or not to bring my fanny pack, and my friend there blushed immediately and told me not to say that lol. True, but most who think that are cunts anyway. But how do you know if they are a good cunt or bad cunt? Asking from Scotland. Context. Man, through some strange coincidence, most of the people I associate or hang out with at work and outside are Australian and British. They drop the word cunt all the time in casual conversation, and even though I'm Canadian, I've become so numb to it that I do it now too. It's just another word to me that I use in conjunction with dick or asshole. But Reddit seems to be largely American, and I have gotten so many temp bans from different subs or been reported for threatening violence against others for calling someone a cunt when they are being an asshole. And every time I get a notification informing me of this, I'm stunned and think what? And then remember, oh yeah, that's not normal here. So I'm actively trying to remove it from my vocabulary. Don't try to cheat the IRS. They will fuck your life into oblivion. There are 3 things all wise men fear: the sea and a storm, a night with no moon, and a jilted IRS. The IRS did what the FBI and no other agencies ever could: put Al Capone in prison and overthrow FIFA's leadership. To this day I'm convinced that if Osama bin Laden tried to cheat the feds with taxes, they'd have found and captured him within a month after their accountants verified the money trail. On the minus side, though, they did get suborned by Scientology, so its Pokemon rules bureaucracy type moves are super effective against criminal types while cult types have a resistance. At least in Tennessee you should never say anything unkind about Dolly Parton. Thanks for the awards. I mean, you shouldn't in general. She's a lovely woman. Dolly is so cool. When inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame, she openly said she didn't deserve it because she wasn't a rock artist. Rock Hall of Fame was like, too bad, you're in. So Dolly makes a rock album. It's cute how as soon as someone says Dolly, someone else drops a random fact about her. Dolly Parton entered a Dolly Parton lookalike contest and lost. Say the N-word. I was overseas and a guy in a bar asked if people in the US disliked black people. But he did not say black people. I suggested that he not say that word in the future. Ralphie, oh, black people. Only I didn't say black people. I said the word, the big one, the queen mother of dirty words. Engage with someone acting like a crazy person on the road. They might shoot you. This is not exaggerated. I live in a really safe area and we have had a few horrible road rage shooting cases over the past few years. Had a cousin get followed to a gas station by a guy he didn't even realize he cut off. The guy came and hit him in the face with a wrench while was pumping gas. I always get nervous now if someone I'm riding with starts to escalate a road interaction. Think that you can pee in an empty alley on your way home from the bars. A surprisingly large percentage of my European acquaintances have had a great experience of spending a few hours early morning hours in the drunk tank in various American cities, because it's really not that big of deal in most of Europe. I'd add that it's illegal to consume alcohol in most public spaces, sidewalks/parks, in much of the U.S. Exceptions: New Orleans, beer/wine in Denver parks. The downtown section of Savannah too. I forget exactly what the area is called, the historic district maybe? Must be in plastic cup with a limited size though in Savannah. Also Las Vegas. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for daily uploads. After you've done that, check out one of our other videos.